Welcome back. Get ready for week 3 of our Cricut Academy because today we're going into Cricut Design Space and we're actually doing our first project together, which is a memory box for school, for your school age kids. Okay, to get started, we're going to dive right into the computer. I'm using an actual computer. You can do this from an app, like on an iPad. You can just download the Cricut Design Space app. I don't do that. Like, I need a whole mouse, I need a keyboard, all of that when I'm designing. So I'm going straight to a computer. And we're going to start there. Because, like, remember I always said, if you watched episodes 1 and 2, you need some kind of computing device. So I use a computer, again, with a mouse. I need to be able to design freely, and I need to be able to type when I'm like putting my text in. So I'm going to go straight to a computer, and we're going to download Cricut Design Space. So I completely removed it from my computer just so I can walk you through this process, and then even how to set up a Cricut Design Space account. Okay, first let's go right to Google. That's our friend. Just type in Cricut Design Space. Goes to the first result, which is on the Cricut website. There's a lot of information here. What is Design Space? Just keep scrolling down. It just gives you like some examples. Scroll all the way down. There's some like free resources there, so take advantage of that. But then right here it says, how do I download it? So you can get it on the iOS, Apple Store, Android, Google Play Store, but otherwise we're here on a desktop, so we're going to do Design Space for desktop. And it is available for Mac and for Windows. I'm using a Windows computer here, so if you're using Mac, it might be just a little bit different. You might need to like download or like view a video that shows you how to download software for a Mac, but I'm using Windows. So it's going to ask you what type of cutting machine you have. I have a regular Cricut Maker, so I'm just going to click that, and then it already knows I'm using Windows, so I just click agree and download. So one thing that's important here, you see this happen over here. I'm using Google Chrome as my internet like explorer. You need to know where your downloads download to. So I have mine set up within my settings that anytime I download something from the internet, it's going to go to my desktop. But you can always hover here, like wherever it says downloads, and then you can view, like see if you hover right here, you see this little, this is a file folder. You can click that and it's going to show you where it exists in the folder. So this is like my desktop, and here's the install file. I can also click out of this, minimize, go to my desktop, and then here's the file, and it says install. So wherever it is that file was, whether you find it in the folder or you find it on your desktop, wherever you downloaded it to, you can go ahead and double click here. Going to go ahead and start installing. It says please wait. It does take some time, so just be a little bit patient, give it some time, let it do what it needs to do, because it's basically installing into your computer the entire software. Okay, so finally you get this screen. It says Cricut Design Space. You can do a product setup and you can sign in. So if you have a new machine, you're going to want to set it up. And this is where you can create an entire Cricut ID. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So you're going to put your email address. So go ahead and put in your information and click I agree. Okay, and so we're already in. Here we are. So you can go ahead and set up a cutting machine, set up a heat press, or find the right machine for me. So we're going to go ahead and set up a cutting machine. Click continue. Tell them which machine you have. Again, I have just a regular Cricut Maker. It's telling you where you should put it, at least 10 inches of clearance behind it, because the machine will send the mat back and forth. And to make sure you plug it in, of course, and plug it into a wall outlet. You can connect it to your computer via USB, or you can use Bluetooth. So that's what I always use, is that I just Bluetooth between my laptop and the Cricut. So that way there's a wireless connection. So when I make something, I design something on my laptop, which is connected to my computer monitor here. It's a laptop. Then it's going to go ahead and like wirelessly send the design to the Cricut machine. Otherwise, the Cricut machine would need to be sitting like right here, and you'd need to plug it in with a USB cable, a cord from the computer itself to the Cricut machine. So I'm going to click Bluetooth. Okay, so make sure that your Cricut is turned on and it's within range of your computer so that it can try and make that Bluetooth connection. Make sure also that your Bluetooth is turned on your laptop. And there we go, connected. And found my machine. So go ahead and click continue. You can activate it with this Cricut ID. So go ahead and click agree and activate. Okay, so I'm already all up to date. Everything looks good. Click continue. So you see it is pretty basic. Like as you keep going through, just make sure you keep clicking continue, reading what it says and going about it. So here it's going to offer you a free 30-day trial for Cricut Access for their subscription. As it says here, they have over 1 million images, over 1,000 fonts, and over 100,000 projects. I actually really like Cricut Access. I've paid for the subscription before, but like once the free trial is over, it's usually about $9.99 a month. When I'm doing a lot of projects, sometimes I just go ahead and just pay the $9.99 because, you know, it comes with a lot of different things. Otherwise, sometimes I might just kind of buy things a la carte. So a lot of times, like you can get either a font or a design or something for like 99 cents or like a couple dollars. Like maybe I'm doing a project and I'm bringing all my own stuff to it, but I want to like add some of their stuff. So I might just buy like one thing here, one thing there. And sometimes I know if I'm buying a bunch of things, I'm just like, I'm just going to pay the $9.99 for the month. You can cancel at any time. When you do sign up for the subscription, like the 30-day, you do have to put a credit card on file. So you just have to make sure you go in and you cancel it before the end of those 30 days if you don't want to get charged for the first month. So completely up to you. You do not have to do it. But if you wanted to, you can go ahead and click start free 30-day trial. Otherwise, you can click no thanks. So now it wants to test the machine. Go ahead and click continue. Okay, so it's going to take you through a test project. I'm not going to do the test project because we're doing our own test project. So if you're setting up your machine for the first time, make sure you go through these steps and just kind of follow. They have pictures, illustrations on the computer and everything to follow exactly what you need to do. Again, I'm not going to do that right now because we are going to do a project at the end of this video. So I'm going to click skip machine test. Okay. So this takes you back to the main page. This is kind of what you're going to see every time you open Cricut Design Space. You can search for things. You can like click one of these things. These are some images. Again, like this one right here is going to be free. This one right here, you see how it's got this little A? That's the symbol for Cricut Design Space, and it says 99 cents. So if you want this image right here, you want to just add it to like your canvas that you're working on, it's going to cost 99 cents. Here are some different projects. Look at here's even some YouTube videos. So there's a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff. So this is the big thing. You don't have to be some type of graphic designer to know how to make stuff. You can learn to, customize things, but otherwise you can find stuff right here in Cricut Access. You can find stuff on Etsy. Like the possibilities are endless. And so with this Cricut design or this Cricut Academy series, step by step, I'm going to show you how to do a lot of these things so you can kind of just keep adding to your knowledge base. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is start a new project, and you'll see that here in this corner. I just want a blank canvas, so we'll click blank canvas. So this is kind of where you're going to go. So let's just go over what a lot of this means. Here you'll see your grid. And this is basically like your project space. For me, this is a little busy. Now, it's going to show you you're at 100% now. You can, zoom in more. You can zoom out. 100% means this is going to be like kind of what it's looking like at 100%. So first you'll have a menu on your left hand side. You're going to use this a bit, but not as much as the menu you're going to use that goes on the top here. So in order to activate the top, you need to add something there. So let's just add this triangle. Boom, there we go. There's our top menu. Another thing, I mentioned earlier how this is like really busy looking. I don't like that. I mean, it makes it easier to kind of like align things because you have more lines. But otherwise, you can go over here to where the numbers are and double click. And you see how it kind of like spaces it out more and it looks a little less busy. So I like it better that way. So feel free to do it either way. Just double click in this top row. Okay. So I'm not going to use this triangle. I can put it to the side. But basically, you can get some free basic shapes here, a heart, you know, whatever. And these are things that your Cricut can cut out. Okay. At any point, you can come over here and delete. And then here, it's going to tell you all your layers. So everything that you put on this canvas is going to come over here. You can change the background color of here. Let's say you want it red. Okay, you can do that. You can go to advanced and you can color select. You can put hex codes, all of that stuff. But otherwise, I just like to keep it white for the most part, except in certain situations. And as those become available, then I'll show you. Okay, there are all types of operations here. Now, if you want to see your canvas a little bit bigger, you can always minimize that. And to get it back, you just click on one of these. So let's say this is the world's most beautiful triangle. You want to keep it. You want to save this forever because you always want to be able to make this same exact triangle, this size, this shape, the colors that you selected on here, all of that. You want to make sure you come and save it. So you can click save. And you can add to a collection, create a new collection. So let's say I'm going to call this collection projects. I'll click create. So here's my folder called projects, and I'm going to call it memory box because that's what we're making. Save. Okay, it was saved. Now, if you want to come home, like let's say you just got here. You just open up Cricut Design Space. This is another day. You can come over here, My Stuff, and boom, there's Memory Box with our beautiful triangle. So otherwise, you can come back to your canvas, and that's where you already started working, but you can go home and click another project if you wanted to. So let's keep working here. You'll see here, operation is basic cut. That means you just want the Cricut to cut it what you see it on whatever material you put in the Cricut. You can change it here, wavy, perforated. You can just have it draw like with a pen tool, and you'll see it's just going to draw the outline. It's not going to color it in. You can foil. Remember, we saw that where they have define, medium, and bold. You can score it. That means it's going to fold it, like it's going to like crease it so you can fold it easily. Deboss, engrave, print then cut, or just a guide. So you have all these options here. For the most part, this is where you're mostly going to use is basic. So we're going to stay there. You'll see this next box is a square. It shows black because look, our triangle is black. But if we want to change it, we can change it to whatever color we want. I can make this triangle to be yellow, but then I'll put in a piece of pink paper into the Cricut. Does that mean the triangle is going to come out yellow or pink? It's going to come out pink because whatever material I put into the machine is what it's going to be. So what you see here at the end of the day is kind of like an illusion. It's just for you to visualize what it is that you're making. Okay. So to help me, because I'm a very visual person, as I'm designing something in here, I want it to be designed in the way that's going to make sense, in the way that it's actually going to come out. So if I'm planning on putting a piece of pink paper in there, then I'm going to make my triangle pink. Okay. Now let's say this is more of like a, I don't know, salmon color, and I want more of like a baby pink. Go to advanced. Play with it a little, like move this over, play with it a little bit, you know. Maybe that's closer to what I want. Okay. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is the materials that you put in, whether it's removable vinyl, permanent vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, fabric, cardstock, whatever. Whatever you put in the machine and whatever color it is, that's what it'll be. Because again, the Cricut is not a printer. So again, that's just how you change colors. Okay. Now, colors that are already on your project are going to show up here. So you don't have to keep searching for it. Okay. So now let's say I make a heart. It's going to default to black, but I want to make it the same pink. Boom, there it is. Because this is showing you your colors that are located in your project. Okay. All right. Lots of tools here. They mean a lot of different things. We're not going to get into all of them today because we're going to, as we continue on and we do more advanced projects together, then we'll use more tools. Right now, we're keeping it very basic. You're just learning how to put stuff in here, how to change the colors. Okay. Now let's make the triangle a different color now. It's going to be purple. So we've got a pink and a purple. Okay. Let's pretend like we're going to cut this. Whatever size it is right now, it's in centimeters. Work in the material. It's in centimeters. I work in the imperial system, not metric. So that's just going to keep throwing me off. So I'm going to come over here where it says my name. Click settings. And I'm going to go to canvas. Oh, here I can also do a partial grid or no grid at all. So I'm going to click on partial grid and then I'm going to change it to imperial. So that means like inches and feet and things like that. Click done. Okay. So now what you see here is these squares are actual inches. So that can help you visualize a little bit better. Now when you click on this, now you'll see it says inches. This means that this triangle is 2 inches by 1.73 inches. So if I want it bigger, I want a nice big triangle. Maybe I want a 6-inch triangle specifically. I want the width to be 6 inches. I can come here to where it says size and change the width exactly to 6, hit enter. There we have it. And it's going to resize it. It's going to keep like the same like aspect ratio to keep it at 5.2. Now let's say I want it to be 6 by 6 and it's not letting me because that's not the aspect ratio of this triangle. I can come to this little lock here, unlock it. And now this is going to let me kind of move it however I want. But what I can also do is put in, again, 6 inches for the width. And then I can put in 6 inches for the height. And it's going to give me what I want. And then I can always go back and relock it. So unlocked, locked. Same thing with the heart. Unlock it. Make it wider if I want. Maybe that's the type of project that I want. Maybe I want the heart to fit inside the triangle. Exactly. Whatever it is that you need to do, you can do that when you unlock it and relock it again. And then now, because it's relocked, it's going to keep that aspect ratio. Okay. So now let's say I want to cut this. I'm going to go click make. It's going to ask you, are you going to use a mat? Are you going to use a card mat? Or are you going to use multiple ways? I'm going to use a mat. The mat size, I'm going to use a 12 by 12 and not a 12 by 24. It doesn't give me other options because I have a Cricut maker. And I can click remember this selection. Continue. Okay. As you see here, it's going to show me 2 mats. First the purple and then the pink. Anything that I made that's on my design that is purple is going to be here. And anything I made that's pink is going to be here. I can also change it here. My material size is 12 by 12. Or maybe I'm using a piece of computer paper that's 8.5 by 11. So I can change it here to 8.5 by 11. And you see how it changes here. This is still the size of my mat, but it's showing me where to put my piece of paper in this upper left-hand corner. And it's showing me how my big, huge triangle is going to look there, my 6 by 6 inch triangle on an 8.5 by 11 paper. My pink paper, for example, it might be a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, so I can leave it that way. But it'll help you visualize and it'll help you make sure that you're putting the material on the mat the way you need to if you select the correct material size. Okay, now let's say, oh, I was supposed to have a square that's also purple. So let's go back. I'm going to click cancel. It's going to take me back here. Okay, let me get my square. Here's my square. It can stay 2 inches by 2 inches, but I'm going to change it to the same color purple. Right? Now let's go back to make it. Now you'll see my square is here. So I'm going to leave the square right there. Let's say, remember, I don't have a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock for my purple. I have a piece of 8.5 by 11. So this is where it's really important to make sure I don't leave this like this, because if my sheet of paper is 8.5 by 11, this square is not going to fully be cut. So let's change our material size, scroll up to letter, and you'll see it automatically moved my square down here because it's not going to let me go over there because my piece of paper is not big enough. So if I want to conserve as much paper as possible, especially in this economy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my stuff. So I can move it over like this if I want. Okay, it's not going to let you go beyond the borders. You can't see here, but it's physically like not letting me, right? So then I can take my square, bring it over here, and now look, I wasted a lot less paper. So I can cut this here and then save all this paper for another project or vinyl, okay? This stuff is expensive. Save it. Over here, I'm just doing a heart, but if I want to put it in the middle of the page, I can do that. If I want to put it way down here, I can do that. If I want to save and conserve my paper, I can put it all the way up here and waste less. Okay? So let's get rid of this stuff because I don't want any of this. This is not my project. So again, I'm doing a memory box. What I'm using is just text. This is the box I'm going to use for my memory box. This is a hanging file folder box. You can get this at like Staples, Office Max, Amazon, whatever. It's just a clear plastic box where you can put hanging folders inside. What I'm doing for this project is I'm going to make one for each of my daughters. And I'm going to put their name here. Their first name and then their middle name. Okay? I'm going to use removable or permanent vinyl, doesn't matter. Permanent is probably better because I don't plan on removing their names. And use some transfer tape and put it on here. So the first thing you need to do, whatever your project is that you're trying to personalize, you want to measure. So you want to know how big is the space so that you don't make it too big or too small. I know that this space here is about the size of a sheet of paper or 8.5 by 11 landscape mode and not portrait. Okay, so let's start there. I'm going to get a square and I'm going to make it 8.5 by 11. So first I need to unlock it. And I'm going to make the width 11 inches and I'm going to make the height 8.5. Okay, so this is a sheet of paper. I'm going to make it white so I can kind of see through it. Okay, so I'm not actually going to cut out this white square. It's just there as a guide for me. So I can go here and click guide. So here's my guide. So therefore it won't cut it. But I'd like to just kind of see it. So I'm not going to do a guide. I'm going to pretend like I'm still cutting it. So I'm going to put it on basic. Now I'm going to go here to text. So I'm going to type in my oldest daughter's name, which is Elena. I'm going to use that font actually because I do like this is the basic Cricut Sans font. It comes with Cricut. You don't have to pay extra for it. Okay, so when you want to click on something, you can always click it here because it's going to show it to you now. Here, look, here's my text. The T means it's a text. This is a square, and it tells me what my text is, and it's saying it's on basic cut. So I can move this around. Now I want to make this and kind of like fill this up. Make it a little bit smaller than this main box. But I do want it to kind of fill up the space. Okay? So there's that. I'm going to make it pink. It's not going to be that type of pink, but it's just there as a filler. Let's see. Maybe I'll get a little closer. There we go. That's a good pink. Okay? Now, because we deleted that heart and the triangle and the square, it got rid of, it wasn't on my material colors anymore. So it's not showing up there. So I'd have to go back to advanced and find it again. Okay. So now I want to put her middle name. So I'm going to get another text box. I'm going to type it in. But I want this one to be more of a script font. So I'm going to come here to font. And it's going to show me all kind of fonts. Now, some of these, like this one, if I wanted this one, it's $4.99 to download it. Or if I had Cricut access, I can get it for free. So I want to use fonts that I already have loaded into my computer so they would be free for me. So I'm going to come over here to System. So all of these fonts I can use no problem. Ooh, that's a pretty one. I might use that one. That one is Bargain Script. It's a bargain. This one is perfect. This one I downloaded at some point online. It's called Joseph Sophia, which is perfect because her middle name is Sophia. So I'm going to do it like this. So they're going to be like left aligned. And I think I'm going to make it white. So the background, it's not really going to be white. You know, it's like see-through. So let's just make it another color to kind of differentiate. Let's say like gray. So boom, now you can see it a bit better of what it's going to look like. Okay, I like that. I'm satisfied with that. So watch this. I'm going to go to make it. And it's going to do this big gray box. I don't want to cut an actual big gray box. So either I can ignore this or I can go to cancel. I don't have to delete this, but what I want to do is just click it and hide it. You see this little eye here? That means you can hide it. Okay? If I ever need to, I can bring it back up at any point in time. But let's hide it and then go to make it. And it's gone. So again, we have one sheet here that's for the white vinyl. And then another one here that's for pink. Okay? So that's exactly what we need. I am going to go back though because I want to do one for my youngest daughter. So I'm going to take this gray box and I'm going to duplicate it. To duplicate it, I can just come over here and this is duplicate. Or I can take it, I can right click it and click duplicate. Or I can take it, I can right click it. Oh no, I can take it and just click Control D and that also duplicates it. Either way is fine. I'm bringing it down here. And actually what I want to do is the same thing. I want to duplicate the name and just change the letters to my youngest daughter's name, which is Celia. Now what I'm going to do is make it a bit bigger because her letters are a little smaller so it can still fill the space. And then I'm going to duplicate the middle name so I have that same font, the same color, make it easier on myself, bring it down here, and then just change it to her middle name, which is Annalise. So her middle name is a lot longer, so I can actually make this smaller so it doesn't like overtake. Now for her, I usually use purple. It's just kind of what I've always done since they were born. Like I use pink and then purple, so I'm going to change this over to purple. And that's basically what it's going to look like. Okay, I'm happy with that. So again, I'm going to go and hide my squares. Okay. And now I have everything I need. I'm going to save it again. Save. I can click make it. And now you'll see, and this is why I did it all at once, because Sophia and Annalise are both here now on the white. So we're not like wasting more materials. Now that's not going to fit side by side, but if I wanted to like save more, I can go like that. I can go like that. I think that'll probably save me more. And then I know, so what I do is I use this to eyeball. I know I need at least this to be 4 inches tall. And I just do 12 at that point. I'll do 12 inches wide. That's the size of vinyl that I need. And same thing for pink. I need, well, not the whole 4 inches, maybe 3.5 to be safe. And then I'll just still keep it at 12. Or maybe I'll just do 4 by 12 for both, just to keep it easier. Here, I'll need 5 inches by about 8. And that'll give me exactly what I need. So I'll usually write that down like on a little notepad. And then I'll take that to my drawer where all my vinyl is. So I can therefore find a piece big enough for what I need. So I can use scraps and things like that. Okay, so I'm going to do all of that. Come back. And we'll go ahead and cut this on the Cricut. Okay, so I moved down to my table. I brought my laptop down so I don't have my big monitors anymore, so that we can do this now with the Cricut and everything laid out. This is what I'll need for my project. This I'll keep as a scrap. And this I'll put back in my drawer where I keep all the rest of my vinyl. So this way, as I cut it this way, I'm using less material and so I can conserve. So now we need to actually put these on our cutting mats. Here is a standard grip. Remember, it's the green, so a standard grip cutting mat. It is the Cricut brand. This is a new one, so it's gonna be extra tacky. I'm gonna pull this off, save this. This protects the mat because remember, this is sticky, so that like you don't get all kind of dust and everything sticking here. So save that, put that to the side. So the first color that the Cricut is going to cut is white because that is the first mat that's listed there. You can always change that layout, but we're just gonna stick with what we have here. So the first is white. Now there's two sides. This is the vinyl side, this is the backing side. If you look really good, you can see, this is actually Cricut brand. You can see the Cricut in the back, and you can see like the grid. That's to help you if you're using scissors to cut this. So if you didn't have a cutter like mine, like a paper trimmer, you can just cut like by inches, right? So you want the backing to go to the back. You want it to go down because this is permanent / removable vinyl. This is not heat transfer vinyl. Heat transfer vinyl will be different. So this is regular vinyl, so we want the backing to go down because it's going to the back. And then what we want to see goes on the top. So I'm going to arrange this in the upper left corner because it makes it easier, and that's where I put my design in Cricut Design Space. And then I have this scraper tool here, and I'm going to use that to help get the air bubbles out and really adhere it to the mat. And like I said, I really like this XL. This is the XL scraper. I really like this one. So that one is ready to go. But I'm going to go ahead. This is what's great. This is what's great about having multiple cutting mats. I can go ahead and get them all lined up. So my next color is purple. Same thing. Now here you can tell the difference because it's not white like the other one. So this one is Oracle 651. So it's a permanent. So that's going to go to the bottom. The purple is going to go up. Same thing. We're going to center it on the upper left corner. Finally, we have our third mat. Same thing. We're doing the pink. You can see the back. So the grid, the paper backing goes to the back. You put the pink up top, and you're going to put it, center it on the upper left corner. So we've got all three mats prepped and ready to go. If you have only one mat, you can make it work. You're just going to have to wait until one's done before you put the next one on. But this is what's great about having multiple mats, is that you can be ready to go. Okay, so now that we have it all set up, we have the white, the purple, the pink, everything's good to go. I'm going to click back on the white, because that makes sure that's going to cut that one first. And I'm going to click continue. Sometimes it needs to do this and like reconnect by Bluetooth to the Cricut machine. So that's what it's doing now. There we go. That means we're connected. Okay, now it wants us to set our base material. We are using vinyl. So I have these set up here. Well, here are popular. There's some bookmarks. Oh, actually, that's right. I created a new account. So I don't have anything bookmarked just yet. But here's some popular ones: medium cardstock, light cardstock, foil poster board, copy paper, vinyl. So look, I can just click right here, vinyl. But let's go back. Let's say I want to bookmark it. Look, I can click that right there. So now when I go to bookmarks, it's there because this is something I use often. But there we go. That's what I'm clicked on. So it says base material set to vinyl. Pressure. This means like how much you want the blade to work, basically. So there's default. Sometimes you want to put more, sometimes you want to put less. It depends on what type of material you're cutting. For this one, we're just going to leave it at default. Now it's telling you what tools you need. No tool is required in clamp A. This is clamp A. So this is where you would put like a pen. And it's telling you to load the fine point blade in clamp B. This here is clamp B, and you're going to see it says A and B here. That's how you open it. This is your fine point blade. To load it, it doesn't matter which way. You can turn it any way. You just throw it right in there. close that part and you close that part and it's loaded. So fine point blade is loaded in clamp B. Now it's telling you to hit the buttons. This button is flashing. That's the load unload button. So it's telling you it's ready to load. So let's put our first mat in here. What's great is that this has some, you know, like weight to it. It's not like a piece of paper. There are guides here and here. All you have to do is stick it in the guides. It fits perfectly and it goes, and you just put it all the way until you feel this roller bar here. So as soon as it's there, you're still holding it only with one hand, and then you can hit the load button. It takes it from you. It's loading it now. Okay? Now, once it's ready, the Cricut button, the go button, is going to light up. That means it's good to go. That's all you have to do is click that button now. And you'll see it's preparing. It's going to detect. It's going to do some back and forth. It's going to think for a little bit. Your design here says it's finalizing. And before you know it, it's going to go ahead and go, and it's going to start cutting. And there we are. We are off to the races. It is now starting to cut, and it gives you a percentage here on screen. 8%, 11%, all the way to 100. So you have an idea if you need to go and set up your next mat, you need to cut your next material, whatever you need to do, you can go glance over at the screen and you can see, okay, I'm at 21%. I still have a while. I have some time. I can keep working on something while that's going. Okay, it's done. This light is flashing. That's the unload/load button. So we can go ahead and click it and it's going to unload it. It's going to send it out to us. Okay, so now when we look up close, it's white, so it's kind of hard to see. But if you hit it in the light, you can see how it cut beautifully, exactly how we want it. So this is done. I'm going to put this to the side for now. And now the Cricut is already telling us, you see how this is gray, this one's white, because it's telling us this is what it's going to cut next. It goes automatically. So if you needed to change your settings, you can change it here to, you know, the vinyl or the pressure. We don't need to do that, so we're going to let it go exactly how it is. And all we're going to do is load the next mat, which is purple. Same thing, we're just gonna slide it right there to the guides. The button's already flashing. We're gonna press the button. It's gonna take it. We're gonna wait for it to figure itself out for a second. And look, it's already flashing the go button. So we're gonna press that and it's gonna go. That one's done. That was a lot quicker. We're gonna unload it. You already know the drill. We can grab it. We can look at it. And we can see it cut out my daughter Celia's name. So we can put that to the side. Last but not least, now you already see that it's already on this one. It's white. If you scroll back up, you can see we have check marks on the white and the purple because we already completed those. And this one does not have a check mark because it hasn't been completed. But let's say for some reason you needed to recut the white one because it didn't cut completely. All you have to do is come click here, and now it's going to cut this one, even though it has a check mark. But we don't want that. We want it to continue. We're going to click the pink because that's what we want it to cut next. So we're going to go ahead and load it same way. And what are we going to do? Hit the load button, let it go, let it think for a second until the Cricut button starts lighting up. Press it and it's going to go. All right. Unload the mat. Okay. Check it out once again. You can see the cuts. And we're good. We're actually done with the Cricut right now. It's telling us we can load something else, but actually we're done with this part. So we're going to click done on the computer. I'm going to leave this up so I can view exactly how it was that I wanted it. But otherwise, we can turn off our Cricut now because we're done with it. Okay, now to the fun part. This is basically my favorite part. It's called weeding. So for this, you need a weeding tool. And it's great if you have something like this called a weeding ring, or you have like a weeding collector that can sit on the table. I have one. I could not find it for nothing right now. So the weeding ring, you're just going to kind of put it on your fingers of your non-dominant hand. And it allows you to put like all the scraps in here that you don't need. So the purpose of weeding is, okay, we have this big rectangle, right? The Cricut cut out the letters, but we have this excess we need to take off. So the way I usually go about it is I grab my weeding tool with my little hook and I hook it in the corner so I can grab something I can grab hold of. or you can do it with your hands once you get a certain distance and just grab it, and you'll see your design starts to reveal itself. So you're just weeding out the unneeded material. Okay, so this obviously you can just ball it up. It is sticky, so be careful like where you put it. But you'll see Atlanta's name is pretty easy because it's just the A, but you'll notice, okay, the E, the L, the E, the N are good, but the A's got this in the middle. So this is where you really need to kind of get in there. Sometimes you need some better light and you want to weed out the center of the A. And when you have like a lot of little things, that's like, this is big. So this is easy to just kind of put it with our pile on the side, but otherwise you can put it in here because then this will help you kind of get it off the hook. So this one is actually done. It's ready to go. We're gonna set that to the side. Let's do purple now. See, these are the bigger letters. These are easier. I wanted you to be able to see what was easier first. So again, we're gonna go in the corner, grab it, and just pull. You'll see sometimes it rips like that. You can just help it along. Sometimes things don't cut out all the way, and that's when you might want to go back in and then put more pressure. Or if there's a material you know you have a hard time cutting, maybe a certain brand, you want to just always go in with more pressure. Okay, same thing here. Celia's name was pretty easy. All I have to do is take out the center of the A. And again, this one is done. So now on for the harder one, which is the white, because this is the script font. It's smaller, the letters are longer, and there's a lot of centers that you need to take out. So same thing, and it's white on white, so it's harder to see. So let's get this part out. But you'll see it will start to reveal itself. And be careful, see, like that, you don't want it to come up and break it. Sometimes you need to help it along. I usually use the weeding tool, kind of like that, to get it to stick back down. Just, the main thing is be careful. Ah. So on this, if I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna put more pressure so it would cut through a little bit better. Honestly, sometimes that's kind of just a good rule of thumb, is just to put more pressure. You know what, this is sticking pretty good, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna cut it. It's always good to have some scissors, and some scissors that like are non-stick. These are, it says Fiskars titanium non-stick. Don't cut your design, so be careful. But I'm just going to separate them to make it a little easier to weed them out, since it keeps wanting to stick. All right, and then I'm gonna do one at a time. I like to keep it on here because it kind of holds it down as I'm weeding. See how it's going a bit easier now? Because it's not like fighting with the other side. Look at that, much easier. So at the end of the day, do what you need to do to make it a little easier on yourself. Okay, and now I can cut this side off. There's nothing there. Make it, again, easier on myself. If you can see that where it says Sophia. Now I just need to weed out the centers of the S, the O, both sides of the O, the F, both sides, and the A. And I can bring it down here so I can see it a little better. Okay, then always kind of like put it up to the light, give it one last look to make sure that you're not missing anything. Okay, this one is done. And finally, the longer name, Annalise. Let's put this down and get to work. To make it easier on yourself too, you can always cut it if it's getting too long. Okay, same thing, let's remove the centers. And we're done. So you can throw all this stuff away. And we're gonna move on to the next step, which is the transfer tape. So first things first, I'm going to protect my mats and just put the covers back on. Pull these off. Oh, remember how I said about new mats and how extra sticky they are? Yeah, let's be a little bit more careful. Learn my lesson. And it's always good to, if you can, pull it away from your material so you don't damage your material. You can bend the mat a bit. Try not to bend whatever it is you just cut. Okay, thankfully our vinyl is okay. Back to our memory boxes. So we're gonna put the names here on the front. Let's start with Elena's name. Here is our transfer tape. So this is where it's good to have your scissors. The main thing you wanna do is cut it big enough to cover whatever it is you wanna transfer. And you want it to be a little bit bigger. It doesn't have to be hugely bigger, but a little bit bigger. So same thing like vinyl, this side is what you want, this side is the backing, and you can see the grid. So start to pull it away from the backing. Get enough leverage on it, and then make sure that it's covered as you're going. And you can use something, you want to burn, it's what's called burnishing. You want to burnish it on here so it sticks to the transfer tape. And you want to get air bubbles out. It's backing, we don't need that anymore. You really want to get that in there so it's sticky. You want it to stick to your transfer tape. You can test if it's ready by kind of putting it upside down and seeing, look, beautiful. It means it's sticking. It's now on our transfer tape and not on the carrier sheet or the backing of the vinyl. So now, depends where you want this, right? So I want this here. Start looking how you want it, line it up. Now take the transfer tape off. And boom, there you have it. Now sometimes you can use a transfer tape again. Depends what kind you get. And be careful doing this because you don't want to like take it off. Okay, so now I need her middle name, which is going to go right here. So I need some transfer tape for that. Now this is going to be a little bit more tricky, remember, because it's that script font. So just be a bit more patient with it. There we have it. Same thing, eyeball it. Burnish it. This one is done. On to number 2. You're gonna be extra careful here since I've already like broken this. Maybe I'll even cut it a bit. So see, I'm cutting this down just because I reused the last piece that was much bigger. So yes, you can reuse, just be extra careful, especially like I said, because this is a script font. Awesome, they are both done. Okay, so the last step for this project is to actually do what goes inside to decorate it. So I designed this in not Cricut Design Space, in Canva. And it's this little form where I can put their picture for the year. It says what year they're in, so preschool. So both my daughters went to 2 years of preschool, so 3-year-old and 4-year-old preschool. Then it says like what year, what school, what teacher, and then some of their favorites. Friends, subjects, activities, book, food, toy, music, and movie. So just a way to like kind of remember the year a little bit. So I designed it in Canva, and then like for example, here's kindergarten. So here's 3 of them already. So we're going to take a hanging folder and then glue it in here, a handy dandy glue stick. So then this will be inside each folder, and then in each folder you can put any certificates they won that year, any awards, any like really nice art projects, anything like that you specifically want to remember and you want to keep organized going forward. And then this is just going to go inside the box hanging. The other option is you can put it on the front. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Let's see how that looks. I feel like it hides a bit of the white for their middle name. You see? Versus if it's just the hanging folder. Well, the white looks good, not so much the name. So maybe for the first one, I need to use a different color folder. Ah, that stands out. I like that even better. So we're gonna start with orange. So when you're doing this project, make sure your first color for your first grade that you're doing is gonna look good against as a backdrop for your letters. So we have our orange, we have our first page. We're gonna go ahead and put it on the inside. There are 2 sides to the folder. This side is blank. This one says the brand. So I'm gonna put the brand down because I don't want that to show. And we're gonna go ahead and glue this on the inside. Okay, all done. The next thing is to put like the little folder on top, or like the nameplate. So you can use what came with it and like write on it, but instead I just use a labeler. And I already pre-did it, and it says preschool 3-year-old. I'm just gonna go ahead and, it's a sticker, so I'm gonna stick that on the back, on the front of it, I mean. And I'm gonna put it in the first position all the way on the left, so that by the time it's done, I'll be able to sort through them a lot easier. What I probably will do is use a stapler, because I don't trust like the glue stick as much. I'm probably gonna use a stapler and kind of staple it here so it stays as well. Then that's just gonna go in there as such. And then by the time she's in 12th grade, I should have a complete memory box for her. And there we have our memory boxes and your first project on the Cricut. Now you know how to download the software, install it on your computer, do a couple little functions, use your Cricut mats, and actually cut and actually do a project and personalize it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to make a shirt for the first time because my daughters are going to be flower girls in a wedding next weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and make them a flower girl t-shirt. Of course, they have dresses and all of that, but just a t-shirt for like rehearsal and things like that, just because I have to be extra, of course. So yeah, stick with me. We're going to basically do the same kind of thing. We're going to go in, be a little bit more complicated in Cricut Design Space, and then learn how to actually like heat press and everything like that. Okay, so stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe if you want more videos, because I'm doing an entire series. An entire series. This is the Cricut Design Academy. This is a Cricut Academy. Make sure you subscribe.